We need to swear out warrants, arrest warrants for Barack Obama and George W. Bush.
Let's get ready to rumble! You can't handle the truth. Somebody on top of the line!
Hi, I'm Pastor Marty. This is the Afternoon Drive. Make sure you're a subscriber to the channel. Once you are, smack the bell, click the word all. That'll give you notification of my rants, my ravings, and my undeniably flawless reasonings. Please like and share this video. Put it on your social media platforms. That's how we get the word out that we're here. That's how we grow our channel. Thank you for watching the Afternoon Drive. Well, the D.C. Circuit Court has ruled against Donald Trump and his plea for immunity based on actions he took as President of the United States. The three-judge panel, two of them appointed by Biden, one of them appointed by H.W., so you might just as well say another feckless rhino, which is nothing more than a Democrat dressed in Republican drag, absolutely decided that a president cannot claim immunity, despite the fact that the Constitution and the Supreme Court say otherwise. Now, what does all this mean? Donald Trump, in what I thought was a measured response, said obviously that he disagrees with this ruling and they will appeal. Now, moving forward, Donald Trump makes a brilliant point. If you're not going to uphold immunity on a president, then that means from this point forward, every president who leaves office can then be indicted and prosecuted by the other party. Well, I am going to correct President Trump on one thing, and that's this. The GOP are wimps and will never indict a Democrat leaving office. That we know. But then again, is that really the kind of country that we want? A banana republic that the outgoing party is going to then be criminally indicted by the incoming? I mean, this is what Joe Biden and the Democrats have done to this country. Take a look around at our major cities that are all blue, all Democratic administrations, and all progressively woke, and they check off the right boxes. They've either got a mayor of color, a gendered, non-binary part of the LGBTQ+1 LMNOP community, whatever it is, they check off all the boxes, got it in place, and look at those hellhole cesspools that they call cities. The minority people of color don't want to live there because they know their neighborhoods are unsafe. Their streets are unsafe. Their kids literally, apart from having to dodge all the pedophiles and drug dealers to get back and forth from school to home every day, there's no semblance of law and order whatsoever. They don't even have stores to shop in because the liberals have decided that shoplifting is no longer worthy of, the police having to deal with. And so even if they do get caught, they're right back out on the street immediately, no bail. The stores can't afford to restock shelves, and the chain stores don't want to waste money, and the insurance is killing them to do business in those neighborhoods, so they pulled out. So literally, these are hellholes. And I'm sorry to say this, and as a pastor, I don't like to speak this way, but I'm going to say what they are. They're shitholes. That's exactly what they become, and that is exactly what Joe Biden has turned the United States of America into. In a place like San Francisco, people park their cars, they roll the windows down, they leave the glove boxes open, and they hang signs. I do not have anything of value in this car. Please do not break the windows. And so what do they do? What are the homeless people doing? Smashing the windshields and the back windows now. They call it San Francisco snow, all the broken glass on the streets. Human feces on the streets, crack needles on the streets. That's what a democratic city looks like. And that is exactly the kind of low-rent gutter mentality that a depraved degenerate like a Joe Biden and the ilk of his diseased liberal mind, which has caused him to have onset dementia in steroid levels now, is done to this country. That we have become this police state third world dictatorship where we just, now criminally prosecute the people whose political opinions we disagree with. But George W. Bush opened this door through the Patriot Act and circumventing the Constitution against, our rights. And the Democrats have seized on it. Every time you hear about a bipartisan agreement, just know that you as an American citizen are about to get screwed by the political establishment. And it was a bipartisan, everybody working together that gave us the Patriot Act. Now, George W. was going to, quote, spy on the enemy, and of course spy on Americans to make sure they're behaving themselves. But of course, the Democrats, and under people like Joe Biden, took this to a whole new level. So if we're going to start arresting presidents because they're no longer immune to the decisions they make as the president, and today's D.C. ruling, well, Donald Trump is no longer the president. He is private citizen Trump, so yes, he can be indicted. Well, wait a minute. But what you're indicting him over is decisions he made while president. While the president. But of course, we can't make that argument with the D.C. court because, first of all, D.C. is just a liberal swamp. The D.C. court is a liberal swamp ideology. And so to try to even say anything that remotely makes common sense, you might just as well be speaking to a wall.
Sell crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
So, with that understood, that we can now indict presidents for decisions they made as president, George W. Bush, a war criminal. Why isn't he arrested? And Barack Obama is a mass murderer. And he killed American citizens. Oh, yes. Look at the 2010 drone memo. Barack Obama, who ran on that rather than every type of retaliation by the United States against our foreign adversaries, that some of those could be more of a judicial response rather than a military response. But it was under Barack Obama and his drone program, he killed more people, i.e. civilians, than George W. Bush did. And many of those civilians were American. Oh, they were ISIS, ISIL sympathizers. But they were American citizens nonetheless. It wasn't until an 8-year-old girl was killed that he began to back off that a little bit, and didn't stop it, but he backed off it a little bit. Barack Obama, as the commander-in-chief, gave orders for drone strikes that killed American citizens. Why hasn't he been indicted? Why hasn't he been tried? Why hasn't he been convicted? Why isn't he on death row somewhere? I mean, that's what the D.C. court is now saying. And so whether you like Donald Trump or you hate, loathe, and despise, and you want to take a victory lap and have an early orgasmic climax right now, we got him now, we got him now, we got him now. At some point, that's going to be a Democrat president. And there just might be enough Republicans to garner up what it takes to indict him when he leaves office. Is this really where we want to go? Is this really what we want? Now, of course, this D.C. Circuit Court, they pummeled the Trump attorneys when this was all being hashed out with all types of hypothetical situations. You know, what about a president that commits mass genocide? You mean a W. Bush? An Obama? Unbelievable. But it is believable. It'll go through the appeals process. And you know, Jack Smith, I love the way Trump refers to him as the deranged prosecutor from the Department of Justice. He knows, constitutionally speaking, that his case has nothing, there's nothing that he's pulled it off the D.C. court docket. With this little decision today, oh, there's no politics involved. There's no throwing a bone to Jack Smith here saying, get on with it again. Get on with it again. Doesn't matter what the law says. It doesn't matter what the Constitution says. We're going to give you this. Wow. Hey, people, look around, especially you Democrats. Thank you. Woo, yeah, thank you. Yeah, you've given us tyranny. The very thing that you say Donald Trump will bring, and we have to protect democracy. It's a sacred thing. So what you're saying is we have to blow up democracy as it is now to protect democracy from Donald Trump? Yeah. Yeah. This is brought to you by the political establishment. That oligarch that's working night and day to cling to power, which is why they keep throwing good money after bad into somebody like Nikki Hillary. Does anybody like Nikki Haley? No! And her whole cringe performance on Saturday Night Live the other night. Oh! Interesting times in which we live. Now, on appeal, Trump has the grounds for this, and ultimately, if this gets to the Supreme Court has already ruled on presidential immunity. The Supreme Court did not give a fast ruling on this because they wanted Jack Smith to take this through the proper channels. But ultimately, when this lands with the Supreme Court, we know where the Constitution is on this issue. And again, they're going to make this strictly political. Then based on Barack Obama droning American citizens, he should be in jail. But as commander-in-chief, according to the Constitution, he's given a lot of latitude. Otherwise, he can't effectively do the office that he was elected to. Well, that same privilege and right applies to Donald J. Trump.